Yes, I did it. I did it. Hello, audience. Hello, self. I did it. Whew. Listen, my schedule has been nuts. I'm not sure where to put this thing, so I just decided to just put it here. And it may get earlier and earlier or just very sporadic, but stay with me. Today's episode, Phoenix. Phoenix in all of us. This is something that okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I literally was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post from a buddy of mine, which I'm gonna get into later, and it really just got the juices flowing, man. And look, when you have that roller coaster of life, that up and down, you need to just sometimes do stuff, and so that's what I'm doing. So bear with me. It won't be as sharp as other things are supposed to be, but hey, here we are. First things first, we should probably say something about the title. What is this thing, this podcast? What the frap? Frap. You know, that it's a word that I acquired from my very limited amount at Vanderbilt University. The then coach, Bobby Johnson, had a policy that you weren't allowed to curse, which is right up my alley because at the time I wasn't a cursor. Okay? Because I was afraid of Mama Gail, shout out to her. So someone, I believe it was Marlon White, might have been the late great Otis Washington, but I'm pretty sure I heard it was Marlon, wide receiver out there at Vanderbilt University. He combines the F word with crap, boom, frap. So it's a way for us to get our emotions or whatever frustrations out without cursing, without breaking that rule. But that's why I named it What the Frap, because there's a lot going on. And I can look at it from a existential, universal, or global realm, but let's not. Let's peel back and just stay in my own experience and look at me. There's a lot of times where I just go, what the frap is going on around here? And right now it's, what the frap am I doing with these regular jobs? I'm ready to be done with it. But the grind continues, and so here we are. Phoenix thing, the mythical bird that when it gets to a certain age, goes through a certain amount of experiences, it just goes to a nice quiet place and lights on fire. It's burning, it burns all the way down to ashes. And then out of those ashes, reborn, sometimes depicted as, just a little bitty bird, sometimes it's an egg to be hatched later on, but it's rebirth. Me as a Christian, I really like that example because, as Paul tells us in the Bible, we, should be dying daily, spiritually, mentally, right? Whoever you were yesterday needs to die, get out of there. And it needs to be a new version of you, a better version. The whole idea of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, an antidote for chaos. He talks a lot about don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were the day before. So like me, yesterday, I didn't get up early. What's up, Kenny? Hi. I didn't get up early yesterday. Today I did. So bravo. Now, if I look at other people's examples, man, I might be like, those people are crushing it. Therefore, I have no value. Therefore, I feel bad and hurt. And remember, hurt people hurt people. So that's what we got to keep in mind and be careful of, even this early in the morning. So compare yourself to who you were yesterday. I stole that from Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Appreciate that, man. But I want to get into this, why I even started doing this and why I even am up this early going live without anything really prepared. Shout out to my boy Justin Hawkins, man. Your posts about starting something different, he talks about being 16 years old, starting with this company, and then now at 32, starting something else. And man, I commend you. That is true bravery, and I'm super excited. Any of the doers in the world, they definitely sound like this guy, Justin Hawkins, man. Old teammate, very humble dude, man. Anybody would tell you. Smart, capable, competent. It's just a great dude, man. I will be bugging you later because we're going to talk about this extensively. But coming from where we come from in Columbia, Tennessee, it's okay. Let me state my own experience. It's easy for me to get into these habits, right? My comfort zone, and then when I do that, it doesn't really allow for growth, right? I don't feel those growing pains, that nervousness of trying something new, of learning something new. So it's something. I'm gonna write that down. I should probably not, but there we go. But yeah, man. Like I, was a caregiver. One of the clients I had passed away, and it struck me. It hit me pretty hard. It was in a very small amount of time. We're talking about 3 months. Like I grew to love that man. I dare say as a relative, a father figure. Um, it was quite the roller coaster. But that hit me that like, man, one, there's a huge contingency of people out there that really, really need support. We're talking about our elders, the people that we should be utilizing to extract wisdom, and install that wisdom into our young bodies and try to make this world a better place. So I was just really struck by his life and his story, which I don't have permission to talk about, so I'm not gonna. Um, I don't know. So that type of work really bothered me, and it also bothered me that I was making less to take care of a person than people out there flipping burgers and dropping fries, and I just can't for the life of me understand that sort of pay scale. Um, so pandemic hits. My wife and I come up with this idea for a podcast, which was originally this, but of course, me having a certain amount of fear, I'm like, yeah, let me get some of my buddies involved, right? And the first people I thought about were my main man, Sidney Dean, aka Sidney Williams, and Brian Zaydan, and of course, the captain himself. This is how cocky I was, y'all. I thought, I want to do a podcast. I want to do a great job. I'm going to get Sidney Williams, Brian Zaydan. We're going to do a show, and we're going to have the great Paco, DeMario Liggins, produce it. And that was my original plan, man. Look, so for some of you who may not know, I live in New Mexico, and all those guys were back in Tennessee at the time. So it was definitely an uphill battle. But I was just really struck with, one, when my client passed away, it forced me into some unemployment. And first of all, dealing with unemployment, not fun. Anybody who claims that, you don't want to work, that's why you're on unemployment, man, just being on unemployment is work. Those job searches, all that paperwork, trying to fight a claim, and they send it not to your email, not to your primary inbox on your profile, but there's a secondary inbox where it's like, hey, you have some correspondence, you have X amount of time to reply. It's really bananas, but it really made me want to say, figure out something to do other than depend on these regular 9-to-5s. I went back into caregiving. That's what I do now. I had this weird split shift where I go in the morning after dropping my family where they need to be, and then I get off, pick them up, and then I go to a night shift. It's not optimal, especially for someone who is teetering on that, mental health line, right? As we all are in different degrees. So yeah, I've been kind of slacking because then I was some may call it ambitious, some may call it foolhardy, but it was crazy. I was just trying to, anybody that I met that I had a spark with. Shout out to Anson King with our FRAPPIN book club. We do that once a month. Actually, we're doing, all right, here comes some language, people. Brace yourselves. We're doing Nigger by Dick Gregory. Is our next book. Then we're going to have the fans, the audience, vote on the book after that. So I, come across Anson King. I love his spirit. I love his grit. I love the provocative conversation, and it makes me just want to know more about the guy. So we did the book club. Dean and I do Let's Talk with Gales and Dean, and of course the great Anthony Richard and I do Urban Academia, aka Chulo Rich. And I kind of spread myself a little thin. And so now it's about the balance, because once I went back into caregiving, working that crazy shift, it's like, oh my goodness, is my dream dead? Is it over? Is this where it all ends? Am I just gonna be career guy? Go and work and support my wonderful, wonderful family, which is great. But it's something about how to support that family, right? That I really want to do this a great job. I want to be a good Christian. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father and a good citizen, right? So how do I balance all these things without, taking too much time from one thing and putting too much time into another? So yeah, so that's kind of my little Phoenix story. But here is why that even came about. I read this post from Justin Hawkins. Shout out to him. And he's talking about from 16 to 32, that's nuts. That's nuts. He spent half his life in this company and now he's going to do something else. That kind of spark, man, was like just the thing I needed. And he's starting on my birthday. Like, come on, man. If that's not a reason to get something going, I don't know what is. But yeah, so shout out to him and his enterprise. I definitely am going to be talking to him. And really just shout out to a lot of people who are doing a lot of different things, man. Like, of course, Who Dat Podcast, Tea Talks, Fermenting Opinions. Love what they do, man. I was not prepared for that show, by the way. Shout out to Tara Wilson for even pointing me in their direction, right? My main man, Blake Brown, down there in Alabama. Dad Tough, man. My little sister, who I always feel like is my big sister. She's having a Phoenix moment right now, and she's got the Juice Me Daily. It's just shout out to everybody who's out there doing anything, and I do truly mean that. Who's doing anything worth anything? Make sure it's worth something to you. Man, I don't know. Let me see. So I've been trying to get the audience engaged, and I always am looking with my various partners. How do I get them engaged? How do we get the audience engaged? So I literally am just gonna, until we figure something out, I'm gonna scroll through and look at a couple of posts, and whatever makes me laugh, I'm gonna stop on it. All right. So bear with me here, looking at some Facebook posts. Oh, the All Black Party, man. Shout out to my main man, T the Barber. Right, and I'm sure he's got some parties putting that together. Every from what I've seen, everybody had a great time, man. My main man Jupiter talking about he was thankful for security. I guess security was doing their thing too. Anthony was there, Who Dat, Jazz from Tea Talks. Let's see. Man, my shoes have wood bottoms, no grip at all. Dancing on the wood floor, slipped on some slipped on a drink. Talking about Jupiter Murphy. And of course, Murphy answers back as he does. Anybody who dressed better than me, I made sure had a rough night. That's how you compliment somebody right there, man. Oh, my cousin, the teacher, Miss Smith. Shout out to her. New house, got the baby, got the family going. Like, man, just keep going. I love what you do. We're going to be talking soon as well. She says the toddler stage is like the worst stage. I am potty training my 2-year-old, man. Let me say, I say potty train, right? But I don't know, man. Sometimes that dude disappears, and I'm looking for him. And all of a sudden, you hear the flush of a toilet, you hear the sink running, and then I open the door and he's washing his hands. And I'm like, did he actually go to the bathroom? Is he training himself? Oh no, let me get some more of this lifeblood. Water, people. Drink it. I like this little jug. I stole my wife's. I don't know if you can see that. 8 a.m., ready to go. 10 a.m., have some more, so on and so forth, right? Whew. Oh. Lord knows I need some water. Getting ready for this Thanksgiving, man. Y'all, I am 340 some odd pounds. Look at this. Hold on. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh my goodness. This is for those of you who don't know, this is a fat man's tug, right? Cause you gotta get them, the shirts and clean, out of all them nooks and crannies. Oh my goodness, y'all pray for me, cause I'm gonna go hard in the paint, as the kids say. I'm gonna go hard and paint for Thanksgiving. I'm drinking every soda. I'm eating every slice of pie, every bit of gravy, and even though I'm lactose intolerant, I'm eating all the mac and cheese. That's right. Wife's gonna kick me out that night. I'll be fine, but thank God I'm gonna eat. Let's see. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Facebook. My main man Brian Tanner with No Cap Podcast. We need you back, man. Writing that down. Asking where the frap, what the frap is going on with No Cap Podcast, man. So, book club is adult. Frappin book clubs. Please go check that out. As I said, we're doing Nigger by Dick Gregory. Like we did Frankenstein, we did the Earth Seed series. Like we're all over the place. Our audience suggests some really good books, and I'm really learning a lot. Now I do a lot of Audible because I'm on the move a lot. Now let me tell y'all something. I'm not saying that Audible is equivalent to reading or equivalent to Kindle. Kindle's not equivalent to reading. Paperback isn't the same thing as hard, but however you can get some information, especially good information, that can be applicable. Because we just did the Untethered Soul was our last thing. So Anson King and I guess I should explain that for those of you who may not know. Anson King and I do a book club affiliated with What the Frap. You can join that at Frappin Book Club. Us and 600 some odd people, which is bananas, right? But yeah, so I'm trying right now to get people to actually suggest some titles. Then I'll put a poll together and I'll leave that up for a while. And then at the allotted amount of time, we'll decide what book we're gonna read, our first book in the new year. And that's how I want to keep this thing going. I want conversations. Let's talk with Gales and Dean. We're gonna be moving to more of a sports format, man. I fear that. I told him I don't want to be a sports show, right? But we're a sports show. We'll talk about some trending topics and whatnots and try to motivate you a little bit. But yeah, that's gonna be the goofy, fun sports show. Urban Academia. That's gonna be. I set out for it to be. What do you call it? A debate show. But Chulo, Rich, and I agree on so much, it becomes a bit of an echo chamber. Well, last week, which we'll re-air that episode Saturday, Thanksgiving, whatnots. Last week, we had a guy who was a former militia, who's I guess I don't know if he's affiliated with Neckbone. I hope you can see this too and can help me out. But he's an affiliate of Proud Boys, I believe. And we had a very interesting conversation, but that's what we're trying to aim at with that show, because we're looking at the world through our very black male eyes. And so we're inviting all races and all genres and genders and all that good stuff to please come in, and so we can talk these things out in a respectful way to try to understand each other better. And hopefully at the end of each episode, you feel at least like, I was heard, I was respected, and I, was respectfully disagreed with or agreed with. So that's what we're trying to do. As I do some more scrolling. But yeah, shout out to Brian Tanner and his crew over there at No Cap Podcast. We look forward to seeing some new episodes, man. You see, it says the people that love you the most are always the ones that hurt you. Man, that's a rough one. I can't end on a downer. That's very true. I'm gonna put a heart on that. Jared Fagan, what's up, man? My father always told me if you work hard, results will follow. I appreciate the recognition. Oh, look at that. Out there getting trophies, man. Out there getting trophies. Shout out to you. Man, let me tell you something. The Jared Fagans and the Ray Browns, who's probably more influential on me than I needed. Oh man, Zach Logan, like, man, I miss those guys. I really wish I would have just asked for some help, bro. Like, if I'd asked for some help and took sports and academia more seriously at that time, ain't no telling where I'd be. But despite our faults, God has a plan, and that's what keeps it going. What's up, Carla Maraba? Maroa. Oh Lord, she gonna really destroy me. What's up, Carly? Showcasing her Fiji. Oh, what's up, Ryan Jump? Another Spring Hill High School teammate. Be in prayer for him and his family. His father seems to be going through it. Man, I need some happy posts. Some happy posts. Uh-oh, today, what the Frap book review of Michael Senior's. Man, shout out Anson. He is such a fun dude to be around. Let me tell y'all, please check out those book clubs, man. Go back and watch the old episodes. Watch us stumble through, and we're gonna keep going, keep getting better. Got a boxer retiring. Yikes. Come on, man. Who's funny out there? Let's see. Morehouse, shout out to them. Oh my goodness. Sleeping positions of people that don't pay bills. Oh, shout out to my sister. That's hilarious. I'm gonna give that a chuckle. I'm gonna give that a share now. Boom. Nair Brown, man, looking frapping. Fantastic. All these pictures out of the black party, man. Shout out to them. Cornell West. Man. Dominique Hatton. Oh my goodness. I need to talk to you and the missus, man. Check on you. See how you doing with the baby. He says your past mistakes does not define who you are. Know that. Man, I need to look. Let me put a heart on that. I really appreciate that. But anyway, anybody who's having their Phoenix moment, man. Anybody who's out there doing anything worthwhile, frapping, keep going. Okay, if you find yourself upset and miserable, you need to be talking to yourself and the therapist about why that is. Go see your pastor, right? Because let me tell you, I have this issue of using my wife for everything. Baby, full facial wink. But she works in the banking industry, so she's really good at that, and she's good at listening. She absorbs information and she gives you her honest opinion, and it's pure uncut. Sometimes it hurts as it needs to. That's what happens in growing pains, man. But yeah, if you're in a relationship like that, it's great to share everything with the other person, but there's something to be said about a therapist. Like, your significant other wears so many hats in a relationship. I'm telling you, don't add the hat of therapist or psychoanalyst or behavioral therapist, whatever, right? Like, go out and get that, man. That's what the pastors are for. That's what the friends are for. That's what mental health professionals are for, right? Because I know I'm guilty of that, putting a lot on my wife and then coming home to her and complaining about everything, including myself, right? I complain about myself more than anything, and it drives her nuts. Because if you separate who I am, right, I just sound like a person who is like trashing her husband, right? I'm over here talking about, man, I could do this better, and I'm suck at this, and yada yada. So she forgets that I'm husband for a minute, and she just sees me as a dude trashing her husband. And baby, don't play that. Shout out to Ashley Kills. Yeah. So yeah, man, find someone you can talk to. There's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then find things that give you a spark, make you excited, get the juices flowing, right? But if you find yourself miserable and down, that means you need to have a Phoenix moment, right? Get you a Phoenix moment, figure out what's bothering you and why, and if it's something that you can actually change. Is there anything in that can change? And if so, rap and get to it, man. Get to work. And don't forget to reward yourself when you do that. I think we forget that part, right? So if I get up early and I shoot my reward would be, you know what? I'm gonna have an extra soda for Thanksgiving before I start this crazy, crazy diet. Like I'm about to shrink down, y'all. Again, look at this. Look at this. Oh, oh no. Oh no. As good as my, every now and then I get a good little shape here, but that's usually wrinkles. All right, got a little stretch marks going on here. So I'm gonna enjoy Thanksgiving and I'm about to get after it, buddy. But yeah, I figured out that I don't like my body. It makes me miserable. It limits what I can do with my children. The girls are just like, we can sit and talk and play some games, but the boys, they need their dad up and running, like literally running outside time away from these screens, man. So that was making me miserable. So now that's got to go. See? And stay in your own examples. But as we're gonna cut the music for a bit. Get nice and quiet. Nice and quiet. There we go. I thank the frap out of y'all for joining me. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. I'm gonna try to engage your post more, and hopefully we can engage together. Try to build this hive mind. Be respectful. Be lovely. And whenever you get to an issue or anything, right? Anything pops up, just take a deep breath and say, "Thanks."